The story shaking the world today has made three major countries, China, Turkey, and Pakistan, lose their sleep. France, India's most trusted defense partner, has released a report that proves one thing beyond doubt. Underestimating India's Rafale pilots is now impossible. France's top defense research agency, FRS, France Recherche Stratégique, has revealed something the world needed to hear. India's combat proficiency in the skies cannot be matched by China, Turkey, or Pakistan. According to the report, the real strength of a fighter jet doesn't come from its generation. It comes from combat experience, adaptability, and tactical intelligence. While China keeps boasting about its so-called fifth-generation J-20 fighter, Pakistan shows off made-in-China aircraft that it can't even build on its own, and Turkey celebrates its new Ka-an fighter jet. France just held up a mirror and said, "Generation is only a tag. Skill is what wins wars." The FRS report highlights that India's Rafale, even though technically a 4.5 generation jet, has proven itself repeatedly against top-tier American fighters like the F-22 and F-35 in simulated combat and joint drills. And with Indian Air Force pilots at the controls, the Rafale's capabilities have reached an entirely new level. But here's the part that shook the world. France revealed that a coordinated propaganda campaign was being run against the Rafale jet, a campaign supported by China, Turkey, Pakistan, and even the United States. What was that propaganda about? It was a deliberate attempt to portray minor incidents as major failures, to spread misinformation that Rafale isn't reliable, and to push American fighter jets into the global spotlight instead. France called it out, saying, "Nations with no real combat experience fall for such fake narratives. But India doesn't, because India knows, in real war, small setbacks aren't failures. They are lessons that build invincible strength. That's why France proudly called the Indian Air Force a world-class combat force." Despite all the propaganda, the bond between India and France has only grown stronger, and it's not limited to Rafale anymore. Both nations are now working together on next-generation fighter engines, technology transfers, and future aircraft programs. France has made it clear. India possesses the kind of strategic understanding no other Asian nation has. That's why France wants India as a core partner in its future air dominance programs. So let's make one thing clear. India isn't just flying Rafales. India is sending a message to the world. Don't trust our words. Feel our power in the air. While China, Turkey, and Pakistan keep making loud claims, France's statement stands as the ultimate certification of India's air supremacy. Now the world knows India's Rafale pilots don't just touch the sky, they define aerial supremacy. This partnership between India and France isn't just about defense, it's the story of 21st century power balance. And as France itself said, India is ready to own the skies. But what makes this moment truly historic is not just France's praise, it's the strategic transformation of India's air power doctrine that the world is finally beginning to understand. Over the past decade, India's air warfare philosophy has evolved from being defensive to decisively offensive. And that shift didn't happen by chance. It came through years of learning, modernization, and most importantly, trust in its pilots and partners like France. From Mirage to Rafale, a legacy of trust. It all started decades ago when India inducted the Mirage 2000, another masterpiece from France. It was this aircraft that proved its worth in the 1999 Kargil War, striking enemy positions at impossible altitudes deep inside hostile terrain. That same legacy lives on today through the Rafale. France and India didn't just build a fighter jet deal, they built a bridge of reliability, a partnership rooted in combat experience and shared respect. France's new report is not just an evaluation, it's an acknowledgement of India's evolution from a regional power to a global aerial superpower. Why Rafale is India's strategic game changer. Unlike China's stealth-based approach or Pakistan's dependency on foreign equipment, India's strategy is based on a triad of skill, adaptability, and indigenous integration. The Rafale fits perfectly into this doctrine. Each Indian Rafale comes equipped with the Spectra electronic warfare suite, giving it unmatched radar evasion capability. With Meteor missiles capable of hitting targets beyond 150 kilometers and the Scalp cruise missiles designed for deep strike precision, the Rafale transforms India's Air Force into a sky-borne deterrent. But technology alone doesn't win wars. It's the human behind the machine that defines supremacy. and that's where India excels. France's report specifically praises the combat proficiency of Indian pilots, calling them among the best trained and most combat-ready aviators in the world. These pilots undergo some of the toughest training regimens, from Himalayan high-altitude simulations to desert combat drills, from nighttime precision operations to real-time electronic warfare. Each mission prepares them for one clear objective: to dominate, not just defend. Propaganda versus reality. France exposes the truth for years. China and Pakistan tried to downplay Rafale's effectiveness. Fake reports, social media propaganda, and manipulated defense blogs claimed Rafales were underperforming. But France has now exposed the entire campaign as an orchestrated attempt to damage its defense credibility. And surprisingly, the US defense lobby wasn't far behind. Why? Because every Rafale success story means less market share for American jets like the F-35 and F-16. It was all about money, markets, and control. France's revelation changes that narrative completely. It places India at the center of a new global defense order, where reliability and experience matter more than marketing. The strategic shock for China, Turkey, and Pakistan. This report has left Beijing, Ankara, and Islamabad scrambling. For China, it's a blow to its military propaganda that the J-20, often called a stealth beast, is now being compared unfavorably with a 4.5 generation aircraft flown by India. For Pakistan, it's even worse, because its entire air strategy relies on Chinese imports like the JF-17, which lack both stealth and reliability. And Turkey, despite its ambitious KAAN project, still depends heavily on NATO systems that are restricted, monitored, and politically influenced. India, on the other hand, enjoys complete sovereign operational freedom. It can strike where it wants, when it wants, without foreign approval. That's what truly frightens India's adversaries. The Indo-French partnership. Beyond fighter jets. France's commitment goes far beyond Rafales. Both countries are now working on co-developing next-generation fighter engines, advanced avionics, and even collaborating on the Future Combat Air System, FCAS, Europe's next big defense platform. India isn't just a buyer anymore, it's a co-creator of advanced defense technology. That's the real shift in global power dynamics. This collaboration also extends to space and naval technology. France's support in India's satellite navigation, aircraft carriers, and even joint military exercises like Garuda and Varuna proves that this partnership is built for the long haul. Why the world is watching India. Now, global military analysts are now calling India's air strategy a model of hybrid warfare readiness. By integrating Western precision systems with indigenous software and local intelligence, India has created a flexible, adaptable defense framework that no Asian nation currently matches. From the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean, India's air dominance acts as a deterrent across two fronts, against both Pakistan and China. And with France's public endorsement, this deterrence has turned into global recognition. Even within NATO circles, defense experts are re-evaluating the potential of joint training with Indian pilots.